YouTube, what is going on? It is Skywise back with some more quality car content. I'm going to show you guys 5 ways to make your supercharger louder on your ZL1 or any car. This goes for any car that's supercharged. I'm also gonna have one bonus feature at the end that I've done that I really like, and it really brings out the whine more than I think any of them, but we're gonna save that one at the end. So technically 6 ways. And just keep in mind that this doesn't make your car faster, this doesn't add more horsepower. In order to utilize power after you do all this stuff, you're gonna need a tune. And that will also go for any vehicle. And one more quick thing before we get in the video, I just want to let you guys know I will be doing a giveaway when we hit 100K. So we got some ways to go, but it's going to be a vehicle and it's going to have 4 wheels, so it won't be a dirt bike, and it's going to be completely customized. So whenever we hit 100K, we're going to be doing that giveaway to a random subscriber. And you don't got to buy any merch, you don't have to do anything, you just have to be subscribed to the channel. That's simply it. So hit that subscribe button. Any support helps. We appreciate it. One more thing I want to point out on these cars, and any car, having an exhaust, especially a straight pipe, is not going to help your case with trying to make your supercharger louder. So it's not going to. It's going to completely zero out whatever you do. I have an exhaust in this car, and it's very the drone is just insane. So just keep that in mind, especially if you're doing like a full blown straight pipe. It's not going to help out with trying to hit a supercharger. Anyways, first, right off the rip, cold air intake. I'm running the RotoFab cold air intake. So it's kind of like the Big Gulp. It's got the K&N oil filter. And it's a huge upgrade from stock. That's going to be the first right off the rip to open up that supercharger. They're normally pretty steep, $300 to $400 for a kit. You can do it in your garage. It's very easy to do. You do some research, make sure you're not going to need a tune to do it, because on this car I'm next to, my Subaru STI, I want to do a cold air intake. I need a tune. So they do make the packages, obviously, with the access port. I'm getting off track, but just make sure whatever car you have, you just make sure you're not going to get a check engine light after you put the cold air intake on. If you have a ZL1 and you go with the RotoFab intake, you are A-okay. That is also the mod that will pull the most power out of getting a tune afterwards. You could really utilize that, and you'll definitely see some gains on a dyno. It's been a hot month of July, guys. Make sure we're staying hydrated, drinking water. Number 2, throttle body. Yes, throttle body. Ported throttle body. So this one is gonna hit your wallet a little bit. This one, I didn't do this one specifically to get more supercharger whine. That wasn't behind this. This was just before I was getting a tune. I wanted to add a ported throttle body, where it coexists very well with having a ported throttle body and a cold air intake. It's just a good combo to have. So I just kind of did the whole assembly all at once. Always seen a pickup of like 5 to 6 horsepower to the wheels with having a ported throttle body. You also get better acceleration and throttle response. And if you're swapping out the intake, it's also very easy to swap out the throttle body at the same exact time and add like 5 or 10 minutes to what you're doing. And Number 3, all of the shit that's right under your hood, you take it off. You don't really need it. Yes, that's right. You don't need it. There's a huge heat pad that'll go around here. It'll bolt in, and you can just take that whole assembly off. And then after you take that foam padding off, there's gonna be another metal plate that looks like it's holding this thing on, but it's actually not. Only 3 of the bolts are tied into it. It's airing out the engine so much better. This thing's not going anywhere, so it's much better airflow. And it also, once again, the purpose of the video, it helps you hear that supercharger whine. It's not muffling out the noise. Alright, number 4, the supercharger lid. You can get a new supercharger lid that is lighter weight. It is a little bit bigger in size, has a much better look to it, and it's gonna open up, it's a thinner material, so it's gonna open up that whine a lot more. And also, if you're still running the stock factory lid, what you can do is you can actually take off the lid, and there's a plate in there that you can take off with 4 bolts. It's like a blocketing plate, and it doesn't do anything. It won't give you a check engine light. You're completely safe to do it. You can take off that plate, put your lid back on, and you're gonna get a little bit more whine. But if you're switching lids like I did, you can take that plate off and put your new lid on. If you want a more in-depth review on how to do that, I'm going to be putting a video about that specific scenario and process on how to do that, so stay updated for that. I'll have that out within the next week, and I'll show you how I did it with mine. And I don't have any check engine lights. It was pre-tuned and I was perfectly fine. So anyways, supercharger lid and the plate in there, that is going to help out huge, and it's also going to add a much better look to your engine bay. Much better than that ugly lid that comes with the factory. Number 5, your intake is going to have these 2 thick brackets in it. All intakes have it. My STI intake had it as well. They're going to go right around the sensor. It's a really thick piece, and on the RotoFab air intake assembly, there's 2 bolts on each side of the plate. They're really thin bolts. They look like this. Like this. They're very small. They're holding this big bracket on there. It's a thick bracket, and it's restricting so much air going through that air intake. If you already have it on, take this piece off and unbolt this. Get this pipe out, and right on each side of there, there's those bolts. Just unscrew the bolts out, and it'll pull right out. I understand all these reasons, all these things that your modifications you're doing have purposes and reasons for being there, but just understand that we do this shit because race car, and we want to be faster, and we want to hear that supercharger. So if you're really touchy and picky about doing some of this stuff, then don't do it. But for me, I don't daily this car. I only drive it on weekends. I'm not getting check engine lights. It's driving fine. It's not running lean. It's not running rich. It's not messing up a tune. All this stuff you can do pre-tune, and you'll be perfectly fine, perfectly safe. Nothing will be wrong. Now, this next, I'm going to show you the 6th reason on how to get much more supercharger whine that you can hear driving your car. Now, this one is purely something I did because I know I don't daily my car. If you're dailying your car, I don't recommend you do this. But if it's a weekend car and you're only driving it on nice days, check this out. Right there where the air intake is, I cut a hole right there above the wheel well. So I'm flushing out all that hot air, and it's bringing cool, fresh air into my intake. I'm running super low intake temps because of that. I am not heat soaking anything at all, especially with that being tied in with this and all this airflow. I am not heat soaking. I'm getting great airflow. I'm getting much better numbers to the wheels. Not only that, like I said, I'm not dailying my car. You have to be careful with debris and especially water. If it's raining, you don't want to hydrolock your engine. I didn't include this technically in the 5 because I know a lot of people, some people do daily their ZL1s or whatever car they're driving. I personally don't. But that will definitely help you hear that supercharger. If you have your window down, you can hear the whine. It's much louder because of that. You can always put like a frog skin, which is like a, if you're familiar with side-by-sides, they have frog skin on the air intake grates on the sides, and they'll prevent debris and mud and shit from getting into your filter. But these are oiled filters. As long as you have an oiled filter, and you don't have the cheap fucking cloth ones, you should be all right. So I'm not worried about it. I've ran older STIs, like 07 STIs, where the air intake is coming into the wheel well, and I've always been fucking fine. So I've always had those people that, oh no. Well, until it happens to me, I'm gonna keep running that shit like that. So anyways, like and subscribe, and don't forget that giveaway we're doing. So keep in touch about that. Stay updated. Keep a lookout in our videos. the closer we get to our goal, we'll start giving out some hints of what it's going to be. And like I said, you don't have to buy no merch. There's no purchase necessary. It's going to be just a flat out random giveaway to one of our subscribers. Anyways, we appreciate it and thank you. Until next time.